How many times have you heard them say, when are you going to get a real job? Cake decorating is not a real job. How many times have you had a sleepless night because you are preparing a customer's cake order? How many times have you driven all the way to deliver a cake with your heart in your mouth where you just want to deliver the cake in one piece? How many times have you had a cake order and by the time you put in all the hours and hard work, at the end of it, you don't have anything to show for it? Today, I want to ask you to consider something different, something where you can still use your cake decorating skills to actually make a better living with less work, less stress, make more money and have more fun. My name is Eme, and you may know me from the Exotic Fantastic Cake Decorating School. I taught cake decorating for about 7 years, non-stop from about 2009. And then I kind of branched out to other things. So right now I am a digital marketing consultant, and I work with one-on-one with my clients. But I decided that I have to teach this class. I want to teach cake decorators how to teach their own classes, either as something which they use to make extra income in the low seasons, or something that you can actually turn into a career. If you look at the cake decorators out there in the world, the ones that you know, the celebrity ones that you actually find out that most of them have teaching as a big part of their service or of the way they show up in the world. You do not have to be a cake decorating celebrity to teach your own cake decorating classes. I really want to just convince you that yes, you can, yes, you should, and hopefully you would say, yes, I will teach in this coming 2019, that you would decide to start teaching your own cake decorating classes. Well, for one thing, it is a very low investment, so you don't have to use a lot of money to start teaching. You can actually profit from the first or second class you teach. You're already making a profit. So that's the first reason. I mean, it's a very low investment. It's just your time and your knowledge. And as a cake decorator, you already have the knowledge. You can make the time. So the next reason that you should teach your cake decorating classes is because the money that you make is more hour for hour. You make better money with less stress than if you had a cake order. So if somebody orders a cake or a wedding cake, for instance, and it's a $700 wedding cake or £500 wedding cake, and you are going to use a good 3 months at the very least to plan for the cake and work towards it, and all the hours that you put into it just to have that payday or at that thing. Now compare that to a class that you are teaching on a rinse and repeat, like the predictable way. You can actually make that money within a week or within a day. What I mean is, you prepare for it and then you teach it in a day, you make your money, and that's that. So that's the money side of things. It's more profitable than, hour for hour is more profitable. Now, I'm not saying that you have to stop making your cakes for your customers, because obviously this is what you do, but I'm saying that you should really consider teaching classes. Another thing is that you're teaching what you know. So, that's self-explanatory. If you're a cake decorator, you know much more than you think you do. That's one. And then you know more than your students know. So even if you're teaching the very basics, you will find out that your knowledge is actually much more than you thought, and much more than what people have. The very basics, is much more. I'm doing a number of videos to just show you as much as I can about all that goes into teaching a cake decorating class, and you'll find out that it's quite simple, it's common sense. And then I will show you also a 5-step process to actually running your own cake decorating class. I'll teach as much of this as I can for free. And at some point, I will invite some of you to come and work more closely with me, where I will mentor you through the process of actually making sure and keeping you accountable and helping you to set up and teach your first class in a 30-day period. So teach your first class within 30 days. So anyway, more reasons. Oh God, there's so many. More fun. It's much more fun. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. You have to experience it. You make friends, you have fun. The teaching is the fun part, because I mean, being in a class, doing what you love, being around people who are also love what you love, it is an experience that you cannot really describe. It's very fulfilling. Sometimes when you have a class and the students make cakes, which to somebody else might say, oh, what's an ugly cake? But the students are so proud, because they've been able to create something from scratch with their hands. There's a lot of fulfillment in there. So there is that as well. So teaching a class gives you income on demand. So once you have a class that you teach on a regular basis, then you would be able to, you actually have a predictable income. So you know that, okay, if I teach this class and I have 6 students and this is how much they're paying, this is how much I would normally, this is how much I'm going to pay for the venue, and this is how much is going to be cash in hand at the end of the class. That is, I mean, it's the only thing that I've seen, because while teaching, I did make cakes for people, but somehow the money just kind of just filtered into nowhere, but for teaching, on the day that you're teaching or at the time you're teaching, you have your payday, you actually have an amount of money that you can actually say, this is the money that I made from this class. These were the expenses and all that kind of thing. So one other great reason for teaching class is because it increases your credibility. I mean, how many times you feel as if you're unappreciated, you feel like your customers don't respect you, they don't know how much work goes into what you do, they devalue you, but once you teach, there's a credibility that comes. Teaching your class gives you that respect and credibility, even among your customers, which is the point I was trying to make. Even among your customers, once you're teaching, it kind of helps people to see, if you're teaching it like your customers, it helps people to see that you are an authority in this area, that you know what you're doing, as well as to see how much work goes into the process. I've had people come to the class, and I used to run classes on Sundays sometimes, where there are 5-hour classes, and I would run 3 sets of 5-hour class, and they would say, oh my goodness, 5 hours, 5 hours, why would, but then by the time they come, it will be me actually saying, okay, the time is up, come, go home, because of how much time and how much work goes into it. That credibility, that authority that you increase once you start teaching. So you don't have to teach all the time. Again, one of the other things is that you are in control. So you decide when you want to teach, you decide what you want to teach. Then you advertise, you get your students, they come, you're in control. You decide where, you decide when. Each time I taught classes, most of the venues that I taught at were a walking distance from my house. So if we get to class and the milk finishes, I can call home and somebody will run across the road and bring the milk, or, oh, I forgot the cling film, somebody will run across the road. So I was, you are in control. You control the environment, you control everything. So that is one of the wonderful ways that that's one of the reasons that you really need to consider teaching your class. It's because that you are more in control. You're not, it's not the customer that's telling you what venue. It's not the customer that's saying, oh, the cake has to be like this. And I'll tell you something, you don't have to be like the best cake decorator. Honestly, I am not the best cake decorator. I would like to think that I'm a good cake decorator, but honestly, I'm not the best cake decorator. There's so many that out there that I really admire what they do, but I know how to teach, and teaching is just taking the thing apart and teaching them the steps and step by step and walking them through the process. If done right, your students will travel any distance to come and learn from you. Your first class will pay for itself, and you can start profiting from your first or second class. Like I said, I would say your first class would pay for itself, pay for your tools, and then the next classes after that would just be profit, because it would just be you would have more, you would have your tools and everything that you've gotten once and for all, and then you're able to teach your classes. So the next video, I will tell you how to find a venue, what you need to look for when you're looking for a venue, and then also I will tell you also the type of classes that you can teach. So watch out for that. If the link is available, it will be in the description, but watch out for that. That's coming next.